Hey you guys, rising live, rising live, rising live, rising live, rising live, rising live. Oh, hey, it's Monday. It's Monday. Rising live. Crown up, y'all. Crown up. It is your girl, Danny Royal. Rising live, yo. It's Monday. Let's get lit. It's Monday. I'm pumped because I wasn't on live all last week. You know, I get a chance to vibe high with you guys right now. So I'm feeling myself. I got on this sundress, this yellow and white. You know, I'm feeling a little flowy and stuff. So yes. Rising live. Come on in the room. And I want you guys to put your crowns up when you have shared this video. Or just put your crowns up. Even if you don't share it. I mean, I would like for you to share. But even if you don't, still put your crowns up. Hey, Brand. Hey to everybody watching. Hey to those that are coming in. Hey to those who are rocking out with Crown Up Nation and has been for the last couple days, weeks, whatever, hours. Thank you so much because you guys, I can't do my lives without you guys. Because if, you know, that was the case, then I would just be talking to myself. And I could just do vlogs, you know, to myself. But I love to share with you guys. So, today's topic is about, I mean, everybody's been talking about entanglement. But, you know, dang, entanglement. Like, ooh, have you ever been in an entanglement? Have you ever been in an entanglement? You know, and if so, what did your entanglement consist of? And so this is why I said that I was going to do it on this topic, right? Give me 1 second. So I'm going to jump from here, jump from there, and then I'm going to go back here. So me as an individual, I have been in a few relationships, not many, just a few. I have been married twice, and I have been divorced twice, right? So to some people, that could be an entanglement within itself, you know, because we don't know how the relationship that you were in, or y'all don't know how the relationship I was in went. You only know what I've told you, or what I will tell you, or whatever the case might be. And sometimes when people tell their stories, they only tell a portion of it, or they only tell what resonates to them. They don't necessarily tell the full aspect of it, or it's not that this person is lying or that person is lying. Sometimes they had a different perspective and point of view on the entanglement or the situation or whatever, you know, is at hand, right? So this morning, I was having a conversation with someone. And so, you know, some people are visual. Some people are intellectual. Like, they have to hear it. Some people have to see it written. You know, some people are photographic. You know, people receive things and hear things differently, right? So somebody was telling me something, and I understood it from them just communicating it to me. But they decided to have this notebook, right? And they wrote it out onto the paper, right? And so this is a list of the people that I have encountered, right? You know, on a serious level. And then they wrote how they treat me as well. But so they put themselves in this list, and you know, I'm not in a relationship with anybody, you know, at all, just to throw that out there. But this individual decided to put themselves on that list to see and weigh out how I was treated based off of them and what they do compared to what I have been given or I was in. And so as I was reading, you know, from one situation to the next situation or whatever, right? I was like, oh my gosh, I've been in a lot of entanglements. I've been in a whole lot of entanglements. And so my first entanglement started with my son's dad. Let's go there. But this is not about to be a whole long. This video, after I get out what I need to get out, it'll be a to be continued on one of our Transparency Tea Talks, okay? So you can just meet me on Patreon if you want the scoop, and I got you, okay? But it started with my son's dad because, you know, I was entangled into, you know, liking him or him growing on me. Initially, he wasn't my type. but he was around me. We were familiar. We were in each other's space and different things like that. And so for Jada to throw out that entanglement, like, we was in a situationship kind of thing. Like, I was with you and still married to you, but then I grasped this. So it was like I was in an entanglement, but I was in an entanglement and I didn't know I was in an entanglement because not initially. Stop him. Because initially, it was just me. But, it was when it became us, even though I was in a relationship, it became us when we got married. When we got married, it was still just me. It wasn't me and you, which caused many entanglements, and I was cheated on. And so I was the person from the other side left like hurting, dealing with low self-esteem, dealing with this and that, dealing with that and this. And I was just like, dude, like, okay. And now that I sit there and look at it written out, and then I look at how my life has gone, and I look at, decisions that I could have made and who I've affected and how I was affected, I was like, dang, I was in an entanglement too. I was in a whole entanglement. If we're going to use that word, we're going to drag that word. Because, seriously, I was entangled into something that I thought that I could change, and I couldn't change it. Hey, Anna, I could not change it. I was entangled into something that I could not change, thinking that I could change that thing. And so, because I was entangled, and then he got other people into entanglements. And then I had to address somebody because I knew for a fact that they was entangled into the entanglement with my husband and I. And so I had to approach them. And I was like, yeah, this not about to go down like that. I got to address you, sis. But it wasn't on the scale of, oh, I'm about to go beat her up. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, you know what? I just want to get to the root of this entanglement. I don't want to be entangled anymore within this marriage. I want to be free. I want to release myself. I said, God, you died on the third day. I said, I asked that you give me 3 forms of what? Thank you so much. Where did this come from? This came from...
Hey, Ma.
Where did this come from?
Hey, Daddy.
Ross for $4. Yes. So, yes, it came from... It was just like, okay, I had to address her, and I could only imagine Jada and Will sitting down talking about the whole entanglement thing. But I had to sit down in a situation where my husband per se would not address the issue at hand. So I had to address the person in whom he cheated on me with, that was entangled within our mess, because we had our own thing going on. And then I had to address him again on the level of, sir, I asked you about this person and you said this. And it was just a lot. So I got all forms of confirmation that I needed. And I was like, okay, I'm going to remove myself from this entanglement. But at that time, I didn't see it as an entanglement. I just knew I was my heart was broken. I knew I was on the other side of the, hold on, hand. I was on the other side of the spectrum. Hey to everybody coming in the building. And it's one thing I can't remember the guy who, who Jada was talking to. But the thing about it is, you don't know, like, that person was probably really, really heartbroken, in which they discussed that. But she had a whole situation. She was in a whole situation. And so for me, I was in that whole situation. And then they was in that situation. So Will and Jada had their own thing going on. Okay, they was married still and they had whatever. They got back on track. And then, this person is left in the dumps. Like, okay, that's what it is. But for me, it was like I was trying to gain understanding, and I was the other person while that other person was out there entangling himself with other people. And then I was over here trying to hold it down, trying to be a mom, trying to figure stuff out. I'm reaching certain levels of maturity, but I'm doing it by myself. So I was entangled into something that I didn't even want to be in. Although I wanted to be in the marriage initially, but I had to understand that I could not change that person from being who they are or who they were. And so I was entangled into something that I didn't even know how much it had affected me. It affected me on so many levels. And I was like, oh, yep. And so from me looking at this breakdown, from the discussion that I had with an individual, I was like, dang, I was in a couple of entanglements. And guess what? Your heart will get you entangled into stuff that you don't even want to be entangled into. I'm telling you. I mean, if you move off of emotion. And so I have learned, and I am learning constantly daily, to not be so emotional and to address things from where it is. So if I'm upset about something, or if I need to get something out, I don't talk about it right then. I just say, give me a moment. Let me gather my thoughts. And then we can come and we can address this situation accordingly, because I don't want to say anything out of pocket. And then I don't want to say anything that I will regret. But I also want to use reason. I want to use wisdom. I want to reason well. And I want to use wisdom. Whether how I'm feeling or not, affects me or whatever the case might be. When I was in my other marriage, I was cheated on. When I was cheated on in that situation, it was what it was. I grew from that. It was some things that I could have done better. It was some things that they could have done better. And I found myself also, again, approaching and addressing the person in which they decided to cheat on me with. That means I was in another entanglement. And so I'm like, okay. And so for me, I had to be like, what is it about me that keep attracting these type of people who keeps attracting these type of people who just give me the short end of the stick? And it's like, okay, well, I know I deserve better, but this is what it is. But back then, I didn't even realize that it was an entanglement. I just knew that I really loved this person. I thought that this person loved me, but apparently this person didn't love me as much as I thought that they loved me. And so I put them on this standard and this wave of, I expect for you to love me or consider me in this regard because I'm your wife. No. The respect has to be there before you say I do, because if the respect is not there before you say I do, it'll be like you doing what you doing, or you doing what you was doing before you got married. I'm doing what I was doing before I got married, and we two married people living two single lives. That's not going to work. For me, somebody else that might work for. For me, I'm not. No. I only want one. I don't want to share. And, I don't want to be entangled in anything. And if I am entangled, I want to be entangled with you, Jesus, and I. You, the person, me, and the Lord. That's it. That's the only entanglement that I want to be entangled in. Outside of that, I don't have time, y'all. I don't have time. I don't have time. I had to get that out. I don't have time. So I found myself being in entanglements. I found myself being in, hold on real quick. Thank you. I found myself being in situations where I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't think. And so now me as an individual now, being in entanglements can cause you to be bitter. It can cause you to have a hardened heart. It can cause you to, not want to love again. It can cause you to not want to feel again. It can cause you to not want to be vulnerable to anybody or anything or anyone. And so for me, I just am like, okay, God. And that's why I had to heal myself from the inside out, from being entangled within the entanglements of somebody else who put me into the entanglement, and I didn't put myself there, And so I just was like, okay. So because I felt myself there, I had to find myself in a situation where I had to heal myself, and I had to allow God to also do the work. But it's not enough just to let God do the work from the stance of, I'm going to church every Sunday. No, it's the work of healing your heart from the inside out, because you just really got crushed, or something really just bothered you, or something just really tampered with your soul, your spirit. And so now you need to address it from a different stance, because it's like, okay, if I hold on to this, I'm going to keep entangling myself into these things that are not healthy for me. So I had to release things that did not serve me for my highest good, so that I can live my life freely. Because they live in their life free. So that I can live my life freely. And the only thing that I can do is tell my truth. My truth might not be their truth. Their truth might not be my truth. But the key is to be honest with myself. And to be honest with other people. To let them know. Like, yes, you can get through entanglements. But you have to also do the work. Because when you do the work, then you heal yourself from the inside out. And you can receive and you can welcome love in again. You can welcome trust in again. You can welcome loyalty in again. And you can stop giving these people who don't deserve what you went through, what they gave you. Because you feel like this is going to happen again, So Jada and her friends' entanglement was their entanglement. But everybody got different entanglements. It's different entanglements out here, y'all. And I'm here to tell you. I mean, people be getting entangled over finances. They be getting entangled off of church stuff. They be getting entangled off of children. They be getting entangled off of some other stuff. Like, so all I'm saying is be aware of your situations that you're in, so that you won't get entangled into something that's going to cause your heart to divert from where God wants it to be to where it could be. Because from the experiences that I've had personally, I could have lost my mind, being a mom of 5 at the time, now 6, and I'm not with anybody. So it's like to not be with anybody and to be in situationships. Situationships are entanglements. I'm sorry. I feel like they are. I feel like you can let me know if a situationship ain't an entanglement or not. But I feel like when you are intimate with somebody and you let somebody in on that level and you're not sure which direction you are going in, and it's like, yeah, we together, but we not together, but we being intimate and we not this and we not. That's an entanglement, and in a sense, if you don't have control, you're setting yourself up for failure. I just want you to know that's what we were doing with our lives, or that's what we do with our lives when we do that. And I say we because I've been there. I have been there on so many levels, and so I had to revamp and I had to redirect my focus just so I could know, like, hey, I don't want my judgment to be clouded by me being, in your space to this magnitude. So let me redivert. Let me recalibrate. I'm gonna recalibrate real quick because my sanity is important to me. My own strength is important to me. My own stamina and momentum is important to me. And so if I'm dealing with a situation, hey, you guys, everybody that's coming in and watching, if I'm dealing with a situation and I'm like, you know what? I'm here because I want to be here and I'm choosing to be in that entanglement. That's something different. But when you are entangled, because you can intentionally put yourself into an entanglement and you know what's really going on and somebody's really, really honest with you and you choose to still be entangled within that. That is possible. You can do that. People do that. Have I done that? I have done that. And so I had to recalibrate, because when you do that, what happens is you are devaluing yourself and you are putting off something that should not even be. Like, your worth should not be put off for nobody. You get what I'm saying? Like, you should hold yourself in a high regard, and that person should too. And if you don't hold yourself in a high regard, that person's not going to see your value either if you don't see your value. So I'm just saying, this whole entanglement thing, we can look at that entanglement thing from many, many different stances and standpoints. But I need you to understand, don't choose. But if you choose, because, we're human. If you choose to be in an entanglement, understand that there are consequences and repercussions that comes with being entangled. And if you are in an entanglement that you do not want to be in, or that you did not choose to be in, or that you did not ask to be in, ask God to really heal your heart and ask Him to give you what it is that you need so that you can be where you need to be. Because when you touch on matters of the heart, it is so important. It is so important. Hey, Dawn. Hey, beautiful. It is so important when you touch on matters of the heart, it's so important to be delicate. It is so important to be soft. It is so important to be quick to listen but slow to speak, because what happens is, you are at this place where now you need to heal, because you've gotten hurt. You've been hurt, and Lord knows how many situations you could have been in that has hurt you. I was only married in 2, and I was in 2 entanglements, but I was in other situationships where I'm like, dang, that was an entanglement too, so it's just like, free yourself from anything that does not serve you for your highest good. And even though that thing may hurt you, letting go sometimes may hurt. But guess what? It'll be very, very effective for your future as to where you're going. And then 2, because you've gone through what you've gone through, it'll give you a newfound appreciation for what God really wants to bless you with. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, yes, I've been in entanglements. Yes, I've been hurt. I may have hurt some people, and not necessarily because of cheating. Simply just because of letting go, because I knew what my value was. And I saw that you might have been good for somebody else, but you probably wasn't good for me. So, and it's okay for you to be good for somebody else and not good for me. That just meant your season in my life is is up. And that's okay. And so because that happens and that can take place, be okay with that. Get yourself unentangled. Pray a little bit. If you got to drink some wine a little bit, drink a little bit of wine a little bit. And the reason why I'm spiritual, but on the flip side, I'm human too. You might want to get an anti-drug. What you want to do? You draw, you paint, you dance, but you do that. You know, you might want to pray some more. You might want to meditate a little bit more. But I'm telling you, you have to go through that healing process, because being entangled into something is hard. It's like a soul tie. It's like a stronghold. Because when you find yourself into something and you love that person and you've been into that person and you've given that person the last thing that you had and all of this, and they might not have been given so much back, you have just given up parts of yourself that you could not afford to lose. And in this season and in this hour, we don't have time to give away anything that we cannot afford to lose. Or we do not have time to give away anything that the other person cannot match. You get what I'm saying? So if this person can't bring this to the table or bring this to me, why am I going to give that thing some energy? You get what I'm saying? So save yourself the hurt, the heartache, or whatever. Save yourself. You know, and so even with me being a mom, a single mom of 6, I had to save myself the energy. I can hear people say, oh, yeah, I want to be with you. Oh, yeah, that should have been my kid. Oh, yeah, that should have been. Oh, yeah, you're going to be my wife one day. I hear so many different things, y'all. You don't understand. However, I got to filter out. How do I filter? I'm able to filter simply because I'm able to discern and be mindful of what's going on around me and what's going on with the individual. You don't always have to speak on what you see. Sometimes you just kind of got to go with the flow. And you be like, okay, God, is this the time to move? Or is this the time to move? Or maybe this is not the time to move. God, is it okay for me to be here? Is it okay? So you gotta filtrate. You gotta filtrate what comes in and what goes out, because that's how you begin to heal. You filtrate what goes in, what goes out. What you don't want, you don't have. What you do want, you do have. What you want to do, you do. What you don't want to do, you don't do. You know? And that's how you do it. You know? So I love you guys so much, because I can go on and on and on and on and on and on. But if you are in an entanglement and you are willingly being in an entanglement, I want you to know that there are consequences and repercussions that comes with being in an entanglement. Somebody's going to fall for somebody. Something's going to happen. Somebody will get hurt. Somebody something. Unless y'all walk away. But somebody's going to have thoughts in the back of their head. What could this have come to if, you know, you're willingly doing it? But if you're not willingly entangling yourself into something, or you are not willingly in an entanglement and you just so happen to get caught in the crossfire, do the work. It's going to be hard. It may not feel good, but what I want you to understand is that when you do, hey sis, when you are doing the work, what happens is you give yourself the opportunity to grow. You give yourself the opportunity to cry. You give yourself the opportunity to feel that pain, feel that emotion, so that you can remember that you don't ever want to be here again. You give yourself the permission to say, hey, you know what? I'm a whole lot more valuable than what I thought I was. Or I can handle a whole lot more than what I thought I could. But just because I can handle a lot more, that don't mean that I'm going to put myself through a lot more. Because we're using wisdom. We're using knowledge and understanding. And we're healing ourselves from the inside out. So that work, that inside work that you're doing, you're going to go and you're going to go take yourself out on some dates. You know, be like, look, I'm entangling myself from this entanglement. It's going to hurt. It might hurt hard. It might hurt bad. But guess what? I'm about to be free for real. And I'm about to be the real kind of free. And then when you get the real kind of free, you just say, God, what is your will for my life, God? Who do you want for me? Because guess what? I don't want anything that does not serve me for my highest good as to where I'm going. And if it could not do that, if it's not doing that, then I need to release myself from it. Okay? So I love you guys so much. Don't free yourself from these entanglements. And sometimes you can't free yourself from these entanglements. Sometimes only God can free you from an entanglement. For example, a soul tie or a stronghold. Only God can free you from a soul tie or a stronghold. When you are intimate with somebody, if you're in this entanglement and you've been intimate with this person, when you are intimate with this person, you are given, that man is given all pieces of himself spiritually. That woman is given pieces of herself off spiritually. So you become into a spiritual entanglement. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother time. We're going to talk about spiritual entanglements later on another later day, maybe on Patreon, okay? But I'm gonna come back with the spiritual entanglement, because them spiritual entanglements, Them spiritual entanglements will have you bound, and I've been there, you guys. I had to ask God to free me from this person. Like, I could not do it on my own. I could not. It was like I see him, and then I didn't even have to see him for a while. Then I see him, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I love him. Because we were connected in a way that we should not have been because we were not married. See, God does honor marriage. Marriage is God's thing. God's like, I'm here for the making love thing. I'm here for the sex thing, but I'm here for it my way though. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say that doing it outside of God's will don't feel good, because it do. But I would rather be in God's will, and I would hope that you would rather be in God's will, because you're putting yourself in a spiritual entanglement, and you don't want that. So look, for all of y'all who have been in entanglements, who are in an entanglement, free yourself, okay? If you can. If you can't, still free yourself, but go to God and say, God, I can't do this on my own, but I know that you can. I can't take my pain away, but you can. I can't trust on my own, but you can. I don't know where this joy, the joy that I once had, I want again. But the Bible says that the joy of the Lord is my strength. Let him be that for you. And then that peace from being in an entanglement that you need, that you did not have because you were caught up in something and you were caught off guard. Let him be your peace. He said he'll be the peace that surpasses. He'll give you the peace that surpasses all understanding. So allow him to do that for you. Allow him to be that to you. And understand that you cannot, I cannot, we cannot get or do anything without him. Okay? I love you guys so much. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Put your crowns up. Share this video. And I will see you tomorrow with another video. I love you guys. See you when I see you. Have a blessed day. Peace.